In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make a very simple overlay material that when you take damage, or it could be a pickup or anything, it gives like a little glow to your character like this. The way I'm going to do this tutorial is going to be slightly different. So I'm going to show you the material that I've created and then just keep it on the screen for a bit. And then you can just copy that material. Then I'm going to talk about it a little bit. So go into your content drawer and just right click and create a material, and you can call it whatever you want. So this is the material. What you have to make sure of is click on this bit of your material and make sure that blend mode is set to translucent, and then copy the rest of this. So I'm going to put the words on the screen of the things you need to search for these things. And you don't have to have these values. So for example, this is just this number here, 12, is the glow amount. If you turn that up, the glow will be more. Turn it down, the glow will be less. You don't even have to have this texture sampling. So yeah, sorry, this is a offset noise, and it's just a noise texture. You could just take that out. So for example, you could just have it like that. Just take that out completely and it will just look like that. But if you add this noise on, it gives that sort of glow, especially if you add this panner. So if you add a texture coordinate here, the UV tiling is 0.1 and 0.1. That the default is usually 1. So if you change that like that, change that like that, see the thing's a bit bigger. So yeah, I'd mess around with some of these values. I would, to however you want to do it, but that's the material. I'm not a material expert in the slightest. In fact, I know very little about materials. Right, so you've got your material made. Right now, what you want to do is you want to. This is a pane. This box here is a pane causing block. So this is just going to apply damage to my player. This little block here. So let me just delete that just so I can show you. If you go up to here and go import and just type pane, and then pane causing volume, it will just appear like that. And then this pane causing volume is just going to apply damage to your player. And look, pane causing, if you go down to your right hand side, or you might not see this because of my camera, but if you go down to your right hand side, you've got things like damage per second, damage type, pane interval, and you can change all them values. I don't use these pane causing volumes anyway. I apply damage through blueprints and different stuff, but yeah, just for the case of this tutorial, just add a pane blocking volume in, and then go to your third person character, or it might be first person or whatever. If you don't know where that is, go to your content drawer, scroll down to third person or first person, go to blueprints, and then just double click that to open it up. Right, so then in your code, not in the viewport, go to the code, find an empty space and type event any damage. This node is basically, inside this node there's code rewritten basically, and it's just basically this is like an event dispatcher type sort of thing. So it's passing code through this event. So, and it's pre-made, this event any damages, and what it does is anytime that damage is passed on to the player, you can fire off the code to tell it to do something. So most commonly, an event any damage, you'd have a health bar, and you'd take your damage and you'd subtract it from your max health, and then you'd set your current health, and then that event any damage would be keeping a track on how much health you have basically. But you can also do other things in it as well. So you could say event any damage. You could take your character mesh, drag that in, and then from the character mesh, drag out and put set overlay material, and then it'll come out like that. And then the set overlay material is going to be the material that you just made. So whatever you called it, I called it player glow. And then connect that to there. And then you want maybe a little delay of say 0.4. And then copy and paste that. And then on this one, put none. See at the top, none. Plug that in. Always remember that it needs something to be referenced to, which is the mesh, which you want the player to have no material overlay, the mesh to have no material overlay after 0.4. So another thing I would suggest is that delays aren't always the right way to go. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. But I'd look into timelines. I'd look into dynamic parameters, and there's a lot of different things you can do. But for example, this is simply a very simple code. So any damage, it's going to set the overlay material of the glow one that we made. After 0.4 seconds, it's going to have no overlay material. Press compile and save. And it's really that simple. So when I walk over there, and then that's it. So little tricks you can do. So see that set overlay material. Imagine if I was picking up a health, a little green health thing from the floor. When you pick that up, because you're going to have to pretty much cast it to your player anyway to pick it up, inside the blueprint of the health pickup, you could get the character's mesh and you could set a green. You could turn that material, you could make that green, and you could set it to overlay for 0.4 seconds when he picks up a health bar or something. So there's a lot of different things you can do. What I like about Unreal the most is that there's not any one way to do it. Basically, the general rule is the most efficient way to do something. So try and always remember, or try and always keep in mind, that the way that you're doing something is not the fastest way to do it, and try and work out the fastest way to do something, or the most efficient way to do something. So I don't know how to explain the most efficient, but basically it's like you might want to just do a simple overlay like this, but you might want this overlay to apply to other things. So it might not just be this bit of code you need this overlay to happen for. So you have to try and juggle a lot of different code, and that's where efficiency comes into it, because that's a lot of the mistakes that I've made through coding stuff, is that you think you have the most efficient way to do something, but when you want to implement that into another part of the code or another part of the game, it doesn't work efficiently. So it works efficiently in its one practice, but spread over the rest of the code, it's not working efficiently at all. So yeah, I just try and remember that you've never got it correct. Basically, always try. I mean, you will come to a point where you realize that, oh no, this is actually the fastest way to do something. But most of the time, especially at beginners, you have got a lot of learning to do. So just keep practicing with stuff, searching different ways to do stuff, and yeah, just have fun with it. Because really, if code works, it works, but just try and keep it tight and try and keep it efficient. But yeah, that's about it, guys. I hope that helped, and I didn't ramble on too much. But yeah, this is just pretty much a beginner's thing. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.